All right, time now is 7:33. As of the cutoff time, we have altogether close to 60 people who have signed up for the webinar tonight. But I guess many of them are on the other side, that is watching Lee Hsien Loong live. Okay, Mayday's speech. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome all of you to join in the 4th edition of OSG Young Founders Weekly Webinar Series. Let me just do a short introduction of OSG. Okay, OSG, we have officially positioned ourselves as OSG Youth Alliance, reaching out to youths all across the China, Singapore, ASEAN, and across the globe. Okay, we believe, this is what we believe. We believe in global-minded, resilient, and entrepreneurial youths. They are the future. Okay, and OSG, as most of you faithful fans of OSG may know, that we are non-profit registered in Singapore since 2017 and founded by our dear brother Tan Han. Okay, what we do, a whole lot. We organize regular events and also signature events. And for an event like tonight, our weekly webinar series, we are doing this as in a season. So it's probably good. It's going to run for a season, meaning 3 months. And then we'll see what we're going to do next. And a lot to do with the feedback that comes from you, our dear supporters, the things that you see are trending and it's going to be useful, especially to our young people. And we do also have an extensive or growing project management services that we offer. Okay, it started with OSG Talks in 2017 back in Beijing. Okay, and now OSG Talks has been extended to from Beijing to Shanghai, Singapore, and Hangzhou, as well as Shenzhen. Okay, and we have a regional rep that is representing each of the region. Okay, so just running through the kind of like the programs that we do. Okay, that's a Youth for Change program, exciting things coming up, Youth for Change. Okay, Learn for Exposure program. And yeah, you could reach out to us. Don't worry, right at the end, we're going to show you some of our QR code, and that's where you can add or invite your friends to join us at OSG. Okay, what are we here tonight for? It is actually a very interesting and a very tough topic. And Gerald, our speaker this evening, is going to post this. Are you a stranger to failure? Good. So this is his topic tonight. Okay, for those of us who may not know Gerald, Gerald is our first 00 young founder to join our webinar series. Okay, our first 00. Okay, he's turned 20 this year. He has not even been enlisted yet, getting ready soon. So what's his, and he's also an ex-Shanghai intern with the Nanyang Polytechnic GEIP program. So tonight, Gerald is going to share his experience from his past failures, what he has learned from it, and how those previous experiences has actually pushed him ahead in his entrepreneurial journey. Okay. And if you have got any questions, okay, reactions, you have a window, a chat window. You can PM individual, or you could also post it for everyone to see. If you have a question, don't post to me, okay? Post to everyone, okay? And our dear co-host, Eng Han, will help to curate the questions, okay? And before we move on to Gerald's presentation proper, okay, may I have the honor to introduce our two dear expert panelists for the night. Okay, the first is Dr. James Ong, founder and CEO of Origami Frontiers and co-founder of AIIIT Institute. And we're also happy to have Raymond Lin, Director of Operations Asia of Walgreens Boots Alliance. Okay, perhaps James and Raymond, if you could do a 1 minute introduction of yourself. Maybe James, you could start first.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, good. my name is James Ong. Thank you for the invitation by OSG to come share. I'm glad to be uh, working with all of you, especially Raymond and Ken, working with Gerard. Today, I'd like a quick introduction of myself. Basically, I've been in the technology for the over 30 years from US, Singapore, and China. And I've been involved in all kind of technology, especially AI, mobile, and etc. And also been working from research all the way to startup. So today, glad to be here to be sharing my experience with the rest of you and Gerald. Thank you.
Short and sharp. Thank you, James. And over to Raymond.
Okay, hi everyone. So good evening. So thank you for the invitation for this webinar tonight. So I've been in the retail industry for the last maybe 12 to 14 years. So I started from consumer electronics and starting to move my way to pharmaceutical. So Walgreens Boots Alliance, basically a listed company in the US. It's a Fortune 500 company. So we have presence in Europe and probably in US, we are the largest versus CVS. So what we are doing now in China is mostly like joint venture operations. So I took care of their store operation basically in Asia itself. So currently in Asia, we have presence in Thailand, and China is our next biggest one. We have investment in wholesale and retail. So currently what I'm doing right now in Shanghai is we are working with our partners called Guoda Drugstore. So they are the biggest drugstore in China right now. So we are massively expanding, and we are going to reach maybe 20,000 stores in the next 2 years via acquisitions and opening up stores. So it's an exciting journey. So I'm happy that if I can help and give some, advice, we can share, like experience together tonight. So very looking forward to meeting everybody tonight. Yeah, that's all.
Excellent. Thank you, Raymond, and thank you both for offering yourself selflessly to support of a youth entrepreneurship. So without further ado, Gerald, okay, over to you to present to us in your next 10 minutes your heart-to-heart talk, a sharing of the journey over your past 2 years.
Okay, hi everyone. Can all of you hear me? Okay, yeah, I should be able to hear. Okay, so I'm Gerald, and this is my story from setbacks, from multiple setbacks that I've felt in the past up to this point where I started my own startup. Okay, so a little bit about me first. I'm a graduating student from Yan Polytechnic, and I used to study psychology studies. I graduated with a diploma just this year, and I'm a co-founder at New Digital, a IT startup. Okay, so two things about me is that I'm really hungry for success, and I'm also in love with perpetual learning, because I feel that one cannot come without the other. In order to reach success, I need to always be there to learn from my mistakes. Okay, so this is just a brief overview of my timeline. So firstly, I actually went through my first CMI, and after my internship, and my second CMI, and lastly is Amway or My Way. Okay, so now is actually my CMI number 1. Okay, so back in 2018, when it was my second year of Polytechnic actually. So during this time, I was really into my sport. I played canoe polo, and I was really into it. So naturally, I decided, hey, why not make some money out of something that I enjoy doing? So what I did was that I set up a logistics supply chain with a supplier in Italy for helmets. As you can see on the right, that's a canoe polo helmet. So I set up the supply chain. I got him, and I got a cheaper quote for these helmets that I could bring into Singapore and sell to people. And for the first 2 batches, it went all right. It went really well. I actually sold like 1 or 2 batches. But after that, I realized that, hey, I'm not able to sell anymore because people don't really like to buy from someone that they don't know or someone who's new to the industry. So after a while, my helmets couldn't sell, and I was left there thinking, wow, where did I go wrong? At that point, I didn't have the foresight to realize that actually it was me. The problem was me. At that point, I actually blame other people instead of myself. I blame other people for not being open enough, for not wanting to give others a chance. But actually, in retrospect, the problem was that I didn't do enough market research. I failed to plan for when my customer pool dried up, because I sold mostly to my friends and the people in the same school as me. So this this actually set me back quite a bit. And going into my internship, which was like the next phase in my polytechnic life, this actually bothered me. This was kept in the back of my mind, and it got me thinking, what if I fail again? What if I cannot succeed? What if the same thing happens at internship with my previous company? So it also taught me about commitment, as I couldn't commit to this fully when I was doing my internship, which was right after this. And what I really learned about this is the sustainability of my business model. I need to ensure that I have enough people to sell to. I have enough people to buy my product. Okay, so secondly was actually my internship. I interned in Shanghai, China at Basket. It was an education technology company where they basically taught tuition to Chinese kids. So during my time in China, I was working really hard. I was working from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And it was honestly quite a tough time for me because I felt that I couldn't go out with my friends. I was lonely most of the time. My hours were such that I couldn't go to eat dinner with them. I had dinner in the office. And by the time I woke up, everyone has left the house. You know, I need to go to work by myself. So, and to top things off, my internship wasn't exactly smooth going. My boss and I, we didn't get along at the start, and there was a lot to do. There was so much work, and I was feeling really stressed at work. And one day I was sitting, and then I realized that, hey, actually I'm not learning that much as internship. I started to question myself: was going overseas the wrong choice? Because if I went overseas and all I was doing was just normal office work and things like that, my time might be better spent in Singapore, back in my home country where everything is comfortable. But then after having this mindset for a while, I realized that I needed to change this mindset. The problem didn't lie with my company. The problem actually lay with myself. And I realized that I needed to grow and I needed to take the initiative to learn new things. This was my own responsibility. No one else is going to push me to learn. No one else is going to care enough to make me learn things. So I took responsibility upon myself. I actually spent my free time Googling up things on how to market my company better. How do I value add to my job? And this actually made me really happy because at work, my efforts were recognized by my boss. And I realized that, you know, I enjoy work a lot more when I'm taking active role in learning and discovering new things about myself, as well as generating value for the company. And it was at this point where I actually fell in love with innovation. I realized that I really enjoy working things through with, thinking things through with business partners, with my boss, having brainstorming sessions and things like that. And it was at this point where I realized that technology is super powerful, especially during my internship, because they had a platform where they would innovate and they would introduce features really, really fast. In the span of 1 to 2 weeks, the whole platform can change and stuff like that. So I realized that technology is really powerful and I should keep an eye out for it. Okay, so this is where my second failure comes in. So I actually tried to develop a health technology product for therapists in Singapore. And on theory, in paper, this product was actually really good. Therapists can use it, the clients get better faster, saves them money, they can see more clients and things like that. So the end users in this case will be a therapist. It all boils down to a therapist using this health technology product to treat their clients with it. But after my partner and I, we actually went through our whole brainstorming phase and we wanted to roll this product out. We tried to pitch for funding. And during the funding, they actually asked, have you guys done any market research? Is there anyone who has indicated their interest? They think this is a good product. And my partner and I thought we didn't know how to answer because in fact, we actually didn't. We simply researched online. We hadn't gone down and talked to the people who were using the product, the end users, so to speak. So from this, it was quite a big failure because when we went down on the ground to actually ask around, we asked the end users, we asked the therapists. It turned out that they didn't want it. This was just another struggle for them. It was just a barrier to their therapy because most of them actually just remember the client, they have their own files, and this is too much hassle for them. So then it was back to the drawing board for us because if there's no real need for it from the end user point of view, there's really no point for us to develop our product anymore. So this was where I really learned about the importance of market validation and also people's resistance to technology. And this feeling of failure for a second time actually really compounded and added on to the feeling of failure from the first time. My first logistics company, and then now this. First, I forget that I need to have people to sell to, and then next is people don't want to use my things. So this actually left me feeling really doubtful about myself and my own capabilities. So, but actually around this time, I was talking to my partner and stuff like that. And we actually decided to keep thinking about it. We were thinking of how to make our product better. And this really spoke to me in the sense that sometimes it's not just about me believing in myself, it's having someone else to work with you towards a common goal. And through talking with him and things like that, I actually found it within myself to keep thinking of a new product, keep on trying. And this has actually pushed me to where I am today. Okay, so during this point where we were talking and we were trying out different ways, thinking of different products, how can we tweak it? I actually came in contact with someone. So this person, he actually connected with me on LinkedIn, and then he asked me, "Hey, are you interested in a mentorship?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, I am. I'm actually starting my own business. I can use a mentor." So, but actually, what he didn't tell me was that he was part of MLM company called Amway. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of it. I think it's quite a big thing. And yeah, so he brought me to meetings with mentor and things like that. And they were talking about how financial freedom can only be achieved with starting your own company. And this was something that really stuck in my mind during like the talks that I had with the mentor. He actually said that in order to gain financial freedom, you really need to start your own company. And this is one of the avenues which you can do it. But in my mind, at the back of my mind, I was thinking, hey, if I work in this MLM, I'm not the one reaping the full benefits. When I sell products, I don't gain all of the revenue. I actually have to give some to the people above me. And so I thought about it, this isn't really being my own boss kind of opportunity. So I was really intrigued with financial freedom, and I didn't take the MLM offer in the end. But this was the point where I realized that starting up my own company is really one of the ways to financial freedom. And I also learned that relationships are truly essential for starting up a business. And so with this in mind, I was actually talking to my business partner, and we discussed things, and we decided to come up with New Digital, technology company. Now, some of you may be thinking, what exactly does New Digital do? So we'll be going to that later after this summary. So in conclusion, I had four key events in my whole polytechnic life that really shaped me into who I am today. Each of these key events taught me one thing. Okay, so the first one actually taught me determination, how to not give up, how to keep trying, how to not give up when I just doubt myself. So from there, I actually kept trying. I went to my internship, and it really taught me about discipline, how I needed to take responsibility for my own learning, and that I had to go the extra mile to figure things out because no one else is going to. And thirdly is actually my second failure, the health product. And it taught me about conscientiousness, taking the extra mile to go down to the ground and speak to our end users, find out what they really want, find out their needs and their wants. And lastly is the brush with the MLM. And this really taught me how to hunger for success. How much do I really want financial freedom? How much do I really want to start my own company? How much do I want to chase my dreams? Is it more than the fear that I have of failing? And so the answer was yes. I really wanted to start my own company. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so I decided to really chase my dreams, which brings me to New Digital. And our slogan is actually welcome new, because we want people we want to provide innovative solutions that bring a new level of business to companies. Okay, so now I want you to just think about one super mundane process that you hate at your job, whether it's emailing clients, or maybe checking something every single day, or maybe even getting quotes from suppliers. Just think of it, one thing that you super hate, but it has to be done and it's super repetitive. Okay, so what if I told you that technology can actually help you overcome that? You can actually automate the whole thing. Okay, so this is where New Digital comes in. We provide innovative solutions to our different clients, and we take a very customized approach to each client. We take the time to sit down with the client and discuss their pain points with them. Where can be improved? What are some areas which are causing them the most money, the most time? And lastly, is actually business growth. In everything we do, we hope to empower all businesses to harness the power of technology in order to grow even bigger. Okay, so these are the main things that we do: the websites and mobile application development. We also do data analytics, and lastly is robotic process automation. If you want to find out more, do feel free to drop me a message after this chat. Okay, yeah, so these are our social medias. You can scan the QR code to find out a little bit more, or you can just message me directly, or yeah, you can email me as well. Okay. Okay, so I think that's it from me. Ken, it's over to you now.
Well, thank you. Hey, thank you so much, Gerald, for your sharing. Before we proceed further to our moderated discussion, may I just welcome our new participants that have joined in. We have, 38? Yeah, okay. Welcome on board to weekly webinar series number 4, featuring Gerald Tan. Okay, Gerald was quite different last year when we met in Shanghai. Than from now. And Gerald was also quite different when we spoke 3 nights ago than tonight. I note that Gerald indeed is growing very fast, or he's faking it, and I don't believe it. So nonetheless, okay, even from his sharing right now, right, there are already some burning questions that I have. But it will not be appropriate for me to ask all. So if you have got any questions, do pop it in the chat window. Okay, don't be shy. And I'm going to, in our next 15 minutes of our moderated discussion, I'm going to start with one question. Yes, Gerald, you were sharing with me about the current COVID-19 situation back in Singapore. And it certainly has impacted your business at New Digital. And you also wanted to do something for the people around you, people that mattered to you, and the community that mattered to you. Perhaps you could share with our audience tonight. COVID-19.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, sure. So because of COVID-19, the economy is actually suffering right now. And because the economy isn't that great, people are less willing to spend money to invest in upgrading themselves with technology. So what we're actually doing right now is we decided to give back to the community first. So we partnered with a few other students from Ngee Ann Polytechnic, and we joined this volunteer project where we're actually going to help elderly in Singapore during this circuit breaker period. Because the circuit breaker period has everybody staying at home, and one of the greater risks for elderly is actually loneliness. The lack of companionship actually has a toll on their mental health. So what New Digital is doing is we are going down, we're volunteering our time, we're volunteering our effort to actually create, to actually help them with their processes, to actually create an onboarding process for all their volunteers who are going to join them. In addition to that, we'll also be distributing we'll be packing and distributing the care packages for the elderly as well. Yeah, so this is just something that we'll be doing in the downtime to give back to the economy, to give back to society, economy.
Right, thank you, Gerald. That really calls for a really another hour of discussion about COVID-19 and a startup. But well, in the interest of time, let's move on. I think at this point, Raymond as well as James, you probably have some questions to engage Gerald. Gentlemen, anyone? Perhaps Raymond, you'd like to start?
Okay, so I think, thank you, Gerald, for sharing. So you did a lot of sharing on your previous experience, and I believe you learned a lot to bring to where you are right now. So you mentioned about, what I understand that your major failure may be coming from not understanding the market enough. So I'm just asking for, when you form this New Digital, have you went to do any market survey again? Because I've been to probably a lot of markets in various parts of the world. So before we go into this market, we did a lot of market research, and market research takes years to do. So before coming to China, we did about 5 years of research before coming to China, understanding consumers, the law, the regulation and stuff. So I'm just wondering, from your failure last time, so have you learned anything to bring to new teacher right now on how do you understand the market for the current situation?
Yeah, okay. So thank you for the question, Raymond. That's a very good question. So actually, before forming New Digital, the market research that we did wasn't really fully on outsourcing only, because for us, outsourcing is just a short-term plan. What we actually plan to do is a longer-term enterprise resource tool. This actually helps people to form better teams. And we are currently in the process of doing our market research on that. There have been people who have reacted positively to us. They say that there is a market for a tool which actually helps people work better in teams. What we have in mind for our longer-term orientation is actually a platform where we can integrate into companies, and then these companies actually can match the best people into one team. For example, we go inside a company, they want to do this project, we input our program into it, and this program actually matches the people up from various departments into the team requirements. So this forms the sort of dream team. And so this is our longer term project orientation that we are still currently doing our market research on, but we have garnered quite a few positive reactions. As for the short term market plans, we actually noticed a gap in smaller companies such as SMEs in the e-commerce sector. So we were actually talking to a few smaller companies about helping them digitize their businesses and actually streamline various processes. We have been working with a few companies right now, and we've actually completed a few projects already.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, probably I think this is the way you are looking right now. So maybe I would like to just share a little bit on the information technology or digitalization part. So I think from my experience is that we have been working with a lot of companies, and IT digitalization is always their pain points. And no other, like every IT you invested in the company, even if you invested billions of dollars, they'll still feel that the IT is probably a little bit laid back. So I think for companies, I think we need to really understand what's their main points in their daily working life, which you mentioned about it. So I mean, for small companies, SME, I think it should be easy, to manage all these things. But I think it will be good that if you think of, to the wider, probably for the wider market, has in the day-to-day, what are your pain points in their daily work? So what do they want to change? So it's not any expensive IT will satisfy everybody, but it's something that really works for them. I think you'll probably capture a little bit of their insights right now, which I think is good for your future. So I think, yeah, that's good. Keep it up.
Excellent, Raymond.
Thank you very much.
Raymond, I see James, you were at all smiles just now. Maybe you have a reaction to the case in point, the discussion.
Yes. I listened to Gerald's talk. I think I've gone through his slide before, and today's after his presentation, actually I'm kind of delighted in a sense, because the way he communicated his experience is something that I felt that he actually captured one of the most important elements of being an entrepreneur, which is his mindset that he has learned about how to deal with uncertainty moving forward. He's actually embracing uncertainty as his friend, which I felt that is a very important thing. The thing you talk about, determination, keep learning, and then never give up, and then etc. So I think he has something that I've been sharing with a lot of young entrepreneurs about. You must love dealing with uncertainty. Some people just cannot stand it because they said, I need to be, as we're educated in Singapore, right? We like things to be very systematic, to be predictable. So I think Gerald has actually learned that lesson in his failure. This is one thing I like. The only question I have for Gerald is that in terms of I call it in 修炼, when you work on yourself in terms of not just on the product, first on yourself, is you mentioned financial freedom as your reason. And I felt that actually it should not be the only reason. Okay, I felt that you need to Maybe you want to share more about that beyond financial freedom in terms of what makes you want to have the drive to do it. This is my question to you.
Okay, Ken. Thank you for your kind words, James. It means a lot to me. And as for what drives me beyond financial freedom is actually to keep innovating. Okay, because in Shanghai, I actually really love the startup community and the whole startup, the environment in the startup. Actually, I love innovating and solving problems for other people. And my end goal is actually to just make technology more accessible to companies all around me. I want to see other people harness technology as well. And I want to see more and more brick and mortar companies actually ride the technology wave instead of disappearing. Yeah, so that is one of my longer term focus. And it's really my love for innovation and entrepreneurship that keeps me on this journey, even though it can be difficult at times.
Okay. So if you, my feedback is the following. I think loving innovation is good, right? Financial freedom is good, right? I think if you really want to get into the business, I think a little bit like what Raymond has mentioned, I think it's either you found a problem that is very specific, just like how YouTube was started, right? YouTube started because this guy went to a party and he want to share a video, he can't share. I think you need to either start from a problem that is very concrete, or you are like a person who can predict the trend. You understand how the technology landscape are evolving. Then you actually want to find out from the research lab, well, what are the new emerging technology. There's another approach. Another approach is that you just happen to love something, right? You just love something so much, you want to make flower or whatever it is. So these are different ways you can actually go about trying it out. Right now, I can see that I think consistently with some of the things we saw, your plan for new digital is very broad. It's an outsourcing model, which is okay. It's understandable because you want to have a way to be sustainable to make some money to keep you fed, right? While you are trying to figure out how to build your product. I think it's okay. The thing that, so this in the business area, in terms of the technology area, these are the area you want to look into. Again, this is just my input to you. Hopefully it's helpful.
And thank you, James, for your input.
Gerald, do you have any response to James?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, James, I'd like to throw that question back to you in a sense, actually, because I see with Origami, you've actually developed quite two products for in the tech industry. Would you like to share a little bit more on how you created these products? What's the thought process behind developing it?
Product
Oh,
design.
okay. My experience is quite interesting. I've done a lot of I've done startup in the US, very different environment. Then I did some startup in Singapore, which actually during the SARS period, like the coronavirus today. Again, that's the beginning of the mobile revolution. Then I came to China and also did a lot of mobile. So when I started Origami, it was actually one of the mobile apps more than 10 years ago. So obviously, China is the leading space for evolving it, basically, in terms of building mobile. Of course, the consumer space has developed a lot, but the B2B space, despite I've gone through what we are doing right now, building a lot of customized solution and make money, but it's really hard to scale for B2B software in China. I think the chance to do it is actually right now. So actually the area you are looking into, I think website is okay, the data part is okay, but I think the RPA side, the robotic process automation is actually a very good emerging field for digital transformation in the space. And I'm also looking into that as well as services to help company. But then I think there are many areas we can work together in the future. Of course, right now I'm focused a lot on artificial intelligence because that is my research background. Okay, anytime we can talk.
Yeah, sure. That'll be great.
Yeah, and Gerald, just last evening you were sharing with me that you look at Raymond's LinkedIn profile with interest, that he comes from, cross industry. He's got lots of cross industry and cross markets experience. And you have a question for Raymond?
Yeah. Okay. So, Raymond, I'd like to ask you for the pharmaceutical industry currently, how is it utilizing technology at the present time? And
Okay.
what are you excited to see in the near future?
Okay. So I think coincidentally, I think the pharmaceutical industry now is using a lot of AI technology right now. So let me just give you a classic example. So Ping An Doctor, I don't know if you heard of it before. So when Ping An first started, I've been in touch with them. So when they just got listed, their share price was, I think, 20 over HKD dollars. So because of COVID-19, okay, then people starts to see the wolf in, online doctors, online prescriptions, and online consultation. So I think this is where technology really plays a part in terms of crisis. So all of a sudden, their share price just went up to 113 Hong Kong dollars that time. So now, so it's like a 3-4 or buy 4 thing. So what they do during COVID-19 is that people can't get out to get their medication. So they provide an online prescription. So they probably submit their prescription online and the drugs will be sent to them. If any elderly will have any issues on health problem, they have 24 hours doctors, to attend to all these people. And the doctors for Ping An Doctor itself, they are totally employed by them. So they are not, doctors sitting in the hospitals or clinic. So they spend a lot of money to put in these doctors. And what they do is that they make use of these doctors to develop an AI program. So while waiting for doctors, you can actually diagnose with AI technology, asking questions, you give you advices and stuff. So what I see in technology and pharmaceuticals company in the future is that we are going robotics. Just like what James mentioned, is probably a big market. If you look at the hospitals, the number of scripts they are going through every day is crazy. It's probably at 10, 20,000 scripts per day. And what they're doing right now is they're using the auto dispensing machine to dispense the medicine. And it's not even fast enough. So what they're looking at is that they are probably going to use robots in the future to really speed up the whole process, deliver the drugs to ICU patients, or to attend to some patients in a distant consultation, like what Singapore is doing right now. I've seen they have been using this in the Changi Expo. I think this is something that I saw before in China, maybe last year back. So it's nothing new. So I think probably the big thing coming up is probably, like robots, like what James mentioned, which I totally agree on that. So welcome to look into this industry. I think pharmaceutical industry is something that it wouldn't die off. Everybody would need it. So I think it's a good market that you can start looking into. And in the pharmaceutical industry, especially in the retail side or the wholesale side, they are still very traditional. So there's a room for it if you really ask me. Yeah.
I see. Thank you for your insights. It was very interesting.
Okay, Gerald, if you do not mind, I actually have a question to pose to our two gentlemen, James and Raymond. Because you've shared a lot about, the good advices to our young startup founder like Gerald. But just this question, if tomorrow, if you have a 20-year-old young startup founder knock on your doors to offer his or her solution, services, it's a big dream to you, what would your response be? Would you give them a chance? How would you believe in young startup founders?
I'll go and answer. Is it? I can go and answer first, right?
Sure.
I think I just talked to a founder yesterday in Singapore. Actually, they just started a business from A-Star, the research lab. And so they took the technology there and transfer and start a business. I've been doing it for a year plus. The first thing I always ask them is about their background, just like what Gerald has mentioned. What is his experience in starting something, failing, and etc. So what keeps him going? I think that is a very important part of the also yourself. Right? How do you develop yourself? What is your mental readiness and toughness? If the person is not ready, it's very hard to work with, to guide them. The second part is that what is the reason you want to start the business? That's the next thing. What is the idea? What makes you want to do something? Once that part is aligned, the rest in terms of how to acquire the right technology, how do you build the product, how do you sell it, how do you market it, and how do you get money? I think those are things that you can learn as you go along, and you can adjust and you can coach them as they go along. But the basic fundamental has to be there, which is the person itself, especially the founding team. So that's my answer to you, Ken.
Yeah, thanks, James. Before we go on to Raymond, there are already two questions on our chat group. We'll come to that right after Raymond's response to the question. Okay, meanwhile, if you've got any questions, do pop your questions in the chat group. But yeah, over to Raymond, to Raymond. Yeah, how would you like size up a young startup when he knock on your door before you give him a chance? Raymond?
Okay, I think the key important element is that because we knew young startup probably do not have a lot of resources and experience. So probably like I will just say, like what Gerald is doing right now is that you want to be something like a consultant to some companies help them solve their problem. But without any background working experience and being young at age, so I think a lot of people will be doubtful at what you can deliver. So if you ask me, a young startup came knocking at my door and wanted to, like sell me his products to impress me, I think the only thing that will capture my attention is not the PowerPoint slides. It's probably, what the passion that you portray in yourself when you walk into the room, and the thing you mentioned have to be firm. So I knew you probably would not have any good case study to show, but I think you need to portray to me is that what you can deliver and your commitments to helping me. So we can pay a lot of like expensive consultants. They will give you a nice PPTs, brilliant case study they've done before. But if you look at how they speak, how they present, they normally don't come with passion. It's roboting. So I mean, if you can really be committed and be very passionate about what you are talking to whoever you knock your door on, I think it will be very helpful to really impress and capture that person 1 minute attention at the very beginning. Yeah.
Thanks, Raymond.
That's about it.
Yeah. Injecting passion in AI and robotics, that reserved for another day. Well, we have two questions right now. Yeah, Inghan has a question for Gerald. Oh, by the way, you have questions for the experts, feel free, okay, to shoot your questions as well. So Inghan's question, Inghan, would you like to, okay, Gerald, what have you learned from your China experience? Wait, you have shared that you doubted that China, it was almost like a waste of time, GIP. No, the program, your program manager, Miss Cindy Lim is online. So don't be shy. Whatever you say, what you have learned will only help GIP even better. Over to you, Gerald.
Okay, yeah, sure. So during my China internship, what was my main takeaway from it was that I needed to be determined in whatever I do, because going to China was actually one of the hardest things that I had to do at that point, because I was leaving the comfort of home. Actually, I was leaving everyone I knew. I was leaving everyone for 6 months, and I was going to a whole new country with a language I don't normally speak. Before going to China, my Chinese was really, really bad. So I was very worried about how I would cope with that. So, and after I went there, I, like as what Ken mentioned, I almost felt that it was a waste of time, because what I was doing there was just very, very menial tasks. Every day I just go to work, I complete the same task of things. I don't feel like I'm learning anything more. But what my biggest takeaway, because it is determination, is because I needed to take that step. I need to be determined to learn for myself. I need to have that spark within me that pushes me to learn even more, to go outside of my job scope, to actually learn more and bring more value to the company. So this value has actually been carried over into the other areas of my life as well. I actually try and push myself always to give my 100%, to give 110% sometimes even. And I just try and push myself to actually exceed my own goals in order for myself to learn more from the process. Yeah, so that's one of my biggest takeaways from my my internship in China. Yeah.
Great. 10 seconds airtime for Ngee Polytechnic GIP. Okay, 3 words that you would strongly recommend GIP to your juniors.
3 words more. I would say, for 3 words, I would say take the chance, really, to just chase your dreams and really just take that chance to go into a totally foreign place where you might not be very confident in the language, whether is it Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, Bangkok, just anywhere in the world, I would just say take that chance, if you're looking for something more than your polytechnic, or your polytechnic diploma, I would say just take that chance.
Okay, great. Cindy, I'm sure you are listening in and you could respond to that later. But meanwhile, the second question is from Ken. And Ken says, hi, Gerald. I work in the IT industry and deal a lot with data. To be honest, it's a pain to cleanse and process data manually before loading it. And I foresee that moving forward, dealing with data will undoubtedly become bigger in the future. And in this data-driven model world, do you think your RPA ideas have a potential impact at this stage?
Okay.
Sorry.
Hi Ken. Yeah, good question. So I think that RPA definitely has a stage in data cleansing because for No Digital we actually did a series on RPA recently. It's actually on our Instagram. You can check that out if you're interested. And I feel that if the process is the same thing over and over again, if for example you just need to get something out of it, you need to get you need to get a certain set of characters out from, let's say, a web page. Yes, I do feel that RPA is definitely has a role in that. We actually did one product for one of our customers, for one of our clients recently, where we did a web scraping product for him, where it would continuously scrape websites and get the data. And this data was actually the price of the item. So you can monitor the item hour by hour without actually having to go to the web page, search it up and look for it. It was all in a spreadsheet for him. So yes, I do agree that RP definitely has potential in data cleansing. Yeah.
Excellent, Gerald. What I really like about Gerald, right, that he's, no matter how complicated your question is, he can deliver 1 minute answer. Okay, the third question of the evening is from Cindy. Hi, Gerald. Do you think one needs tech skills to start a technology-led business?
Okay. For this, I feel that you don't really need tech skills at the start because I feel like what James and Raymond has mentioned is really about the passion, it's about the determination and your willingness to learn. For myself, I actually graduated with a diploma in psychology studies, but because of my determination to make my dream succeed, I actually took time out from my own personal time to actually learn some programming myself. I'm taking courses on Python, C++, C, and things like that. So I feel that like when I communicate with my team, with all the other co-founders, I learn how to speak their language. I learn what they say and how to respond to certain things. So I just learn as I go along. I learn the lingo and things like that. So I'll say that tech skills are not a requirement, but they are good to have. But if you're determined enough, you will go the extra mile to really figure it out.
Right, and Cindy's reaction to you is a great one, Gerald. Oh no, that's for your last answer. Sorry. Okay, Jia and Jia has a question for you. Hey, Gerald, I would like to know if you would rather be a part of a completely 100% smooth sailing startup or one with constant ups and downs. I do not know by definition if there's any kind of like a smooth sailing startup. Yeah, but I'll for Gerald to respond to that anyway.
Thanks for the question, Jia. I think if a startup is 100% smooth sailing, I think I want to be part of that. You know, you can just, everything's smooth sailing. I come with product, people buy the product and they use it and stuff like that. But my main issue with that is that if it's smooth sailing all the way and when we hit a ditch, there is no way for us to recover because we do not know what to do when we hit the ditch. For example, if let's say we suddenly hit a recession, everything's been going smoothly, we suddenly hit a recession, and we don't know where to get funds from because originally the funds were maybe from investors, now investors are pulling out and things like that. So where do we go from there? So that's why in my personal point of view, I feel that the trials and the difficulties that we all go through as startup founders and together with a startup, I feel that it's good to build the character of the team and actually helps to bond the team together because everyone is really going through it together. And this actually trains the team to adapt to different situations, to overcome various difficulties that one may meet. Yeah.
All right, time now, we're just 10 minutes before we close. So we've got 2 more questions and I would allow one final question to pop up in the chat group. Okay, so our next question, 5th question of the night is from Samuel Tan. And Samuel Tan is, is no stranger to OSG. He is one of our mentors in our mentor-mentee program. And he was also on the expert panel in our previous episodes. Okay, so the next question is from Samuel. Do you think that the entry barriers for such RPA solutions are low as there are many solutions out there today? And how would you then deal with this?
Okay. From my point of view, I feel that the entry barrier isn't that high because there are platforms like Blue Prism out there that actually do they actually make it a lot easier to automate various processes in the workspace. But I feel that the way that Blue Digital can really stand out against the competition is by our customized approach. How we approach different problems with each of our clients. We take the time to sit down with the client to really uniquely understand where can we improve. We don't try and force solutions on the clients. We don't try to upsell them. We just see what their pain points are, and we suggest the most appropriate things to do for them. If the situation, if a certain pain point doesn't require RPA or maybe doesn't require something else, then we won't suggest it. So I really feel it's about building that connection between New Digital and the client. This feeling of rapport that really helps to set us apart from the competition.
Good answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Sixth question is again from our founder In Han. Would you take in co-founders who are much more senior than you? Let me take the liberty to reframe the question. Do you have a threshold to the age of your co-founders? And what would that
Well,
be?
okay. So from my point of view, I don't see age as something bad. I see it as this person has a lot more experience than me, and this person can contribute maybe a lot more to the startup. I feel that what is more important is about that person's mindset and that person's attitude towards challenges and what that person's passion really is. So I feel that's a lot more important to me than age. And yeah, besides, I mean, for people who are older and have been in the industry for longer, they definitely have many more insights than myself. And I think that they have gone through maybe a lot more setbacks than myself, and I can learn from these setbacks and learn from an older co-founder.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Raymond, I saw your comment in the chat, and I agree. I think it's I think we should involve people of various different backgrounds. Helps to get a better picture on a certain problem.
Gerald, actually, you can see all the questions are.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. And we just for the purpose, to help facilitate, I will nonetheless, read the questions in verbatim to benefit all our audience. Our seventh question is from April Tan. Hi, Gerald, James, and Raymond. Given the current situation, students find it hard to secure an internship or a full-time job. What would be your advice for them? Maybe Gerald and followed by James and Raymond. Gerald, please.
Okay. So from my point of view, as a graduating student myself, I also found it difficult to find a job. Yeah. So I originally meant for New Digital to be a side hustle, but I guess now I'm doing it full time. So my best advice would be to really upskill yourself during this period. During this period, I actually enrolled myself in quite a few online courses, and I'm taking this time to really brush out on my programming skills and to just invest in myself, invest this time in myself. Yeah. Maybe the expert panel would like to share a bit more.
Excellent. Lily just mentioned that we could overstay a bit. So we could continue with this until Lily gives us a signal to say it's about time that we take a group picture. So meanwhile, just a little advertisement that OSG with FUSA and Fudan University of Fudan University Singapore Students Association and Singapore Students Association of Beijing were organizing a second e-forum, specifically as to address this issue. of young people looking for jobs or starting a career in the current situation. So do tune in, or if you've got any ideas, yeah, do speak with Lily or with Inghan on this. Okay, we come back to the next question. I think if the seventh question, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so that's from Joey. Hey, Joey. Hi, Gerald. I wanted to ask how you dealt with adversity and doubt, picking yourself up to take that chance again to be an entrepreneur, despite having failed a few times over before. Gerald?
Okay. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Joey. Thanks for the question. From my point of view, I think that this is something that every single startup, every single entrepreneur actually goes through in their life. And I feel it's not just a few times that they have to battle with the mindset of getting, like, let's say, a full-time job. For myself personally, I actually deal with this a lot. I doubt myself a lot sometimes. And I actually question myself sometimes and say, is it really worth it? Should I just get, like a normal job, have the security of a normal job? But really what keeps me going day to day, even as I struggle with this myself, is that I keep my angle in mind. I keep what I want to do, why I set out to do it. Why did I start Nurito? What do I have? What do I want to achieve in the future? And I just, personally for myself, I really want to help other people around me. And I really enjoy being part of innovation. I just feel that I wouldn't grow as much in a normal 9 to 5 job, and as that as my sole reason to live. So that's what keeps me going. The fear of being stuck in a normal 9 to 5, as opposed to the fear of failing. Yeah, so it's just like two fears combating each other. Yeah.
Excellent. We have no more questions for time. Yes, we are right on target. We're coming to the close of the 4th edition of OSG Young Founders webinar series. Before we close, perhaps I think we would really like to have word of advice from our two expert panelists. To Gerald, and also to our audience in general, all our young entrepreneurs are out there, and the prospective ones.
Okay, so okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
You can go first. Wait, okay.
James?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
okay. Yeah. So for myself, I'll just say, really just take the chance to really chase your dreams. If there's nothing worse than just asking yourself, what if, what if I took this chance? What if I did something differently? So for myself, I would say, just take the chance, dive into the unknown, challenge yourself, and you might just be surprised by the results and how you deal with it.
All right, Gerald, your last word. Take the chance. Take a chance. James and Raymond, what's your advice?
This is James here. I have actually two advice, okay, after listening to what Gerald and Raymond has mentioned. One is about your mentor, one is about the technology. The mentor side, I would say something that if you all know Mandarin, 孔子说过修身齐家治国平天下. If you want to do a startup and conquer the world, you need to make sure you yourself is ready. You are the biggest bottleneck. So you need to make sure you develop the ability to have self-discipline and overcome and wake up every morning to go do it. And that's not easy. That's probably the hardest part. So that advice from Kongzi is actually very helpful. The second advice I'd like to offer is, since we talk about AI and RPA today, right? I just want to let you know that don't look at RPA as one thing. Actually, there is actually multiple versions of it. There's RPA 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. RPA 1.0 is about replacing your hand. That means things that you used to do by your hand. The RPA 2.0 is to replace your eyes and your voice and your ear, so you can hear, maybe your feel, all the senses. RPA 3.0 is about replacing your brain. The AI can make decisions for you or make judgment for you. Of course, the next frontiers of that is about replacing, how they call it, how to build better trust between people. There's another generation of RPA, which is going to be based on a combination of AI and blockchain. So I think there's a lot of opportunity in terms of digital transformation in the future. It's a big space, but it's also going to be very competitive with competitor in China, also in overseas. Hopefully that is helpful to all of you.
Yes, thank you, James. Before we go on Raymond, I'd just like to encourage everybody to turn on your video. 那些头发有点乱的可以整理一下。And then Lily is going to help us take a group picture, virtual group picture. All right, over to Raymond. Your final word of advice.
Okay, thank you. So be glad that I'm the final words for the day. So for young entrepreneur, I think my only advice is try to start as early as possible. Best maybe your first or second job. Why is it so? Because everybody been through the adulthood, you see. As soon as you grew older, you form a family, you have commitments, you will hold back. Any dream to have, you hold back because you are newly married, you need money for marriage, you need money for baby and stuff. So for entrepreneurs, I would think that if you try to start very early. So don't let your future commitments hold you back. So don't let fear take you back. If you fail, you're still young. So if you start later, then you have more fear at the end of the day. So this is probably my only comment for the night. Yeah.
Thanks, Raymond. Come on, guys, turn on your video head. And I am excited about what James shared just now about Kongzi, and allow me to react to that. And in return, a line from Mengzi. And for those of us who are well versed in the Confucianism, yeah, I quote Mengzi: 天将降大任于斯人也，必先苦其心志，劳其筋骨，饿其体肤，空乏其身，行拂乱其所为。If you don't understand, right, ask James. All right. Okay. Over to Lily to help organize the. What's that? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Have we got everyone? All right.
Not yet, everybody. Sorry. Give me one moment. There are still some people not on.
Cindy?
1 second, please. Thank you.
Hey, Anna is here. Yes, Anna.
Okay, done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, sorry. I'm known to be very long-winded. Yeah, Cindy and Anna, would you have any word of advice or encouragement to Gerald and all our young founders out there? Thank you for your support, Ngee Ann Poly GIP support to OSG thus far, and many more happy years to come. Yeah, Cindy and Anna, anything?
Thank you very much, Ken. Thank you very much, and Eng Han for organizing this. It's a privilege for GIP Singapore or GIA Singapore to participate in this. We're proud that Gerald has learned a lot from his GIP in Shanghai. I think Eng Han did a lot to take care of them as well. So thank you very much. I think for young entrepreneurs, I agree totally with Raymond. If you start younger, you have less things to worry about. So it's the best chance for them to try. And there are lots of support given to them. It's easy to get mentorship anytime they want. The school provides them mentorship. Everybody is so keen to mentor them. But when you get older, then people think, why mentor you, you know? Yeah. So start as young as they can. Try. Gerald says, must give it a chance. Yeah. Don't try, you won't know whether you'll succeed or not. Yeah. Thank you very much, Raymond. Thank James, Ing Han, and Kat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna. What about Cindy?
Yeah, I said just now to him that I really love his 3 words. I think when he said take a chance, it means the words are very simple, but I think there's a lot of depth in that. I mean, myself, I started my own business as well in my 20s. And I think with those 3 words, right, it means a lot, especially for someone at his age, a student, because it means to say that you need to take a first step. Yeah, you need to take the chance. You need to step out of your comfort zone. You need to make that first step, you know, to learn new skills, you want to start new ventures, you want to explore your ideas and see it into fruition. You need to take a chance, take the risk, and that includes taking that first step out of your comfort zone. So, you know, and that's so important because we can carry on talking about what we want to do, but if we don't take a chance, we don't take the first step, then we remain where we are, ground zero. 10 years, 20 years, you're still in ground zero. Yeah. So thanks, Jared.
Yeah, so thanks JIA for the opportunity to go overseas, and thanks OSG for giving me this platform to share a bit about my experience.
Excellent, Gerald. And with that, I'm happy to announce that our 4th edition of our Young Founders Series weekly webinar has come to a close. We've got the QR codes and all that. Yeah, welcome to join us. Join us, OSG, the Youth Alliance, in our journey to support our young entrepreneurs. Okay, and may I take this opportunity to wish everyone a good Labor Day ahead. And the quote for the night: take a chance and make a difference this Labor Day. Good night. Bro, how to close? I can 结束 right?
Yeah, but you can maybe the recording, right? You can stop recording. Is a recording going on?
Right. Ken Long fan club. Who the